Welcome to Vest Top 5, I'm Vest Guy, and today we're talking about the top 5 Jet Li films. So Jet Li has a big career, spanning many decades. The thing with the Jet Li movies is that, for me, there's two separate films. There's the ones that are just straight up action martial arts films, and there's the other ones that are the Wushu films. So I'm not going to mention the Wushu movies. And by Wushu, I mean movies like Hero, Fearless, Once Upon a Time in China, stuff like that, The Twin Warriors, all those films that are kind of more epic, and they're great. There's a lot of good stuff there, but I'm going to stick to his action, crime, martial arts films that he's done both here in the States and in Asia. So at an honorable mention, I have to mention it. This is not just one movie. They're an entity. It's Cradle to the Grave and Romeo Must Die. Shit, I'm gonna even put Exit Wounds there because it's a trilogy. It's a classic set of films.
No quitting! Get your ass back in there! Put me down! Got you! Come on! Put me down or I'll kick your ass, Bruce!
I'm not Bruce.
Nah, I'm kidding. I like those films for being unintentional humor. They're really dumb. But, shit, I would even put here the one where he plays a guy named Eula. Gabriel Eula. He will become the one. There's a part at the end where they send him to the Hades dimension where he has to fight a whole bunch of people. And he has this really cheesy line where he's trying to sound very macho. I will be the one! And the Papa Roach music is playing in the background and he's fighting a whole bunch of people. It's really corny. But it has a great soundtrack. There's even Drowning Pool there and Linkin Park played in that movie for some odd reason.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Classic early 2000s.
I am Eula. I'm nobody's bitch. I will be the one.
For a real honorable mention, I'm going to put Black Mask. This is actually a pretty fun, kind of superhero-ish martial arts movie where Jet Li plays this guy named Black Mask who is a kick-ass character. Avoid the sequel done by Sui Hark called Black Mask 2 City of Masks. Didn't that movie have like this
Ron Van Damme.
Oh yeah, it was so bad. But yeah, don't watch the sequel, just watch the original. But the real number 5 is The Defender. The Defender is also known. The Defender is the title released here in the US. The Asian, the Hong Kong title is The Bodyguard from Beijing. So this movie follows a similar plot to The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, where a bodyguard is protecting a famous celebrity and he falls in love with the celebrity. So this is going to sound, not many people are going to agree with me, but I actually prefer The Bodyguard from Beijing over The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner. The one with Kevin Costner is just not that interesting to me. It's alright, it's nothing great, but the one with Jet Li has great martial arts, it's a really interesting villain, and has a great action sequence towards the end, and it doesn't end exactly as you think. Whereas The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner, it follows the typical 3-act structure where you can predict everything. Bodyguard from Beijing has a little extra thing towards the end where I wasn't expecting that. And this was released through Dimension Home Video, and it has never been released from what I know of on Blu-ray. So check it out on DVD. I don't know if it's on any streaming services, but it's a great little martial arts movie that I enjoy, and it's worthy of adding to your collection. And number 4 is another Hong Kong film, and it's called, at least here in the States, it's called The Enforcer. It's known in Hong Kong as My Father's a Hero. And it's a great little movie where Jet Li and his son, or the son in this film, are kicking up these, kicking ass, this bunch of mafiosos, and it's really simplistic, doesn't add anything amazing in terms of storytelling, but when it comes to kicking ass, I enjoy it, especially towards the end, where he kind of uses his son as a weapon. It's really ridiculous, and very much like The Defender, they're only available on DVD. Thing is that they actually did do a release a re-release on DVD by a company called Dragon Dynasty that released a whole bunch of Asian martial arts films, and they re-released both the Enforcer and the Defender, but it's never been released on Blu-ray from what I know of. Maybe in another country they have, but not here in the United States. Number 3, we have Fist of Legend, which is actually a remake of a Bruce Lee film. And it follows a simple story where Jet Li is trying to avenge his master in this martial arts school. Cool little action set pieces here and there. Again, story is simplistic, nothing to, go crazy about. But unlike the other films, this one's actually available on Blu-ray. You can find it also on streaming services. Definitely a movie that I would add onto my collection. So the last 2 on this list are actually not Asian films, they're actually American films. Number 2 is a movie released by Universal Pictures, and it's called Unleashed. I really like this movie. It was originally called Danny the Dog, where Jet Li plays a human dog, someone who was raised like a dog just to fight in this big cage fights. And it shows that Jet Li can not just, fight, but he can also act. He shows so much emotion. The way this movie starts is really quick. He gets you right into the action, you're thrown in, and it never really stops. It's very frenetic. It also has Bob Hoskins playing the main villain, literally the guy who is controlling him. There's even a classic scene where Jet Li eventually escapes, and he tries to put the leash back on him. He's like, I am not your dog anymore. Actually, it sounded more like Van Damme than Jet Li. I don't know. These guys are just trying to blend all together. Number 1 is
The One.
The One. There's a part where at the beginning of The One where he's fighting a whole bunch of guards and they're literally playing "Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies." It's just so as the bodies are hitting the floor, it's so ridiculous. And you have Jason Statham, where he used to have hair. He actually had a similar hairline to mine. Oh fuck, I'm probably gonna lose all my hair by the time I'm like 40. So number 1, we have Kiss of the Dragon. Most people would put some of his Asian films as number 1. I put this one as my number 1. I like this movie, and I feel like I'm in France when I watch this movie. The way it's directed, the way it's shot, and Jet Li plays an investigator who's sent to France from Hong Kong to aid another police officer, and things go wrong when a blame for a murder is placed on Jet Li's character. So now Jet Li has to find a way to prove his innocence. It has some really cool martial arts, and unlike, of course, The One where you have all this pop music playing around that's pretty nice to, bump your head to, in Kiss of the Dragon they play music like that too, but it's just a little cherry on top. The story is so good, the action's really good, and again, it shows you that Jet Li's a great actor outside from being a good martial artist. These were the top 5 Jet Li movies, in my opinion. I did not mention the Wushu movies, that will probably leave it for a separate list. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave me in the comment section down below which is your favorite Jet Li movie that I didn't get a chance to mention. Anyway guys, until next time.